Josh Spinks here from Let's Talk Bikes podcast, episode 3, with my good friend Callum Swan. And brought to you by P1 Construction, civil engineer specialists. And we're getting comfy in the Moto 101 podcast room now. Thanks very much to Ryan. Reese at Essential Media, shout out to him, making this happen. And Works Financial Sports Insurance. And Jess
Works Financial Sports Insurance.
Go on, say it.
Simple now, mate. Works Sports Insurance.
That was that. Did I say the old version?
Yeah.
A bit of a hybrid.
It's all good.
All right, we're on it. So, what's been happening then, Swanee, since the last one?
I've been full dad mode grafting, mate.
Yeah?
Big time. Yeah. Honestly, I had a nap today.
Nice.
This morning because I just felt unslept.
Yeah?
So I needed to catch up. Yeah. It's been intense. We raced. God, mate, it's all blended into one. So like, not the weekend just gone, the one before we raced at Monster Mountain. Obviously up there, it's like, it can be the hottest day in the world, nice weather everywhere else, and up there you're just in a cloud. It's just a bit miserable, isn't it? Unfortunately, because the facility is amazing. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk shit on them because they do a good job up there, and it's really good. And the track was actually in good shape as well, considering like weather that they could have had and stuff. Obviously, they didn't want to overwater it and things like that. But for the kids, at least, it was really good. Race there 2 days. Saw some good improvements as well. I think I messaged you to start seeing a little bit of speed, which was good. Got over that fear of starts. He stopped crying now on the start line, which is good.
Mm-hmm. That makes you feel better, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. It was a weird thing that he was going through for a minute. But that's done. He's got a bit of confidence. Do you know what I've done? I've just pulled him a little bit outside. Mm-hmm. I kept, obviously, as a dad, and Coop can qualify all right sometimes, so I'll fire him up the inside.
Yeah.
He ain't ready yet for that. He's 5, he's small. Mm-hmm. He's racing kids that are like 7, 8. So I've been moving him a little bit wider down the gate, so he just feels a little bit more comfortable. I'd literally just said, mate, where do you want to go?
Yeah. I think that's powerful in itself.
Not where I want to. Where do you want to go?
Yeah. Because you've got to. We know how important the start is. You've got to be on the start line thinking I'm ready to go. Yeah. Any thought process of this. It's going to go wrong. I'm not happy with this. Then it shows. So I think you've made a good decision there.
And then the first start, he actually got took out as well.
No.
Ivy, she just turned in on him.
Ivy Rose.
Yeah. One of his mates as well. It was like it was one of the. It was an accident. But then at Monster Mountain, if you start wider, it's actually okay into that first turn because you can carry a bit of speed.
It's an unbelievably long start straight.
It's big, isn't it?
So I raced there last year.
Kind of swoop in, and he did pretty well. We had nearly whole shot in one of them, which was good. So went from there, and then in our ultimate wisdom, thought, Mildenhall's open on Monday for kids. Let's go there. Mm-hmm. So loaded up the caravan, van, everything, driving to Mildenhall at like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like tasting colours and seeing sound, just like I got there. We go to sleep, and then so I wake up the next day, and I think it's bloody cold in this caravan. What's going on here? So I looked down, lifted up the seat, like where the bed is. Yeah. Massive air gap like that. Oh like the God. Body of the caravan, because I'd driven like a lunatic, probably, allegedly, from Monster Mountain.
Open up like a can of beans.
The body of the caravan had like split from the side. I don't even know what happened. Like there's some big wood dowels like that hold the floor into the body, and they'd snapped. So then me and Nick Chesworth, Tommy Two Strokes Dad, we're trying to fix it, jacking the side up and all this. And I was like, I'm gonna have to go and find a carpenter. Yeah. So I'm like walking around the pit. You know what I'm like? I will find anyone. Like, I'm not scared. I'll talk to anyone. This is why I get a bit of help for Coop. I'm not scared to just like go up to people and asking. So I found Ann Carpenter and brought him on the job, mate. That was it. And then got him back to the caravan. He's like, working it out, like thinking about the best way of doing it. Nick just fucks off because he's like, I'm out now.
He's assessed the situation.
Yeah, he's gone. Do you know what? That man there is more qualified than me. I'm out.
So. I think that in itself, how amazing is it? Like how many different people are in a field at a given time.
You can find
anything, isn't it?
Anyone. Yeah,
literally anything.
Or anything.
And obviously as trade jobs, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with motocross to a degree. Yeah. So you're in safe hands. I've done it before. I had a hole in my roof and someone's come and patched that up, and you just got to ask, don't you?
Yeah, just walk around. You just look at the vans. That's definitely a Chippy's van. Well, I'd just seen it was a normal Kentucky. But outside the front, I noticed when I drove in at night, they had a big fire going.
Yeah.
And in the day, I was like, he's got shit loads of wood around there. He definitely knows wood. So that was why I kind of beelined over to him. And he helped. So that was good. And I dismantled some big start blocks that my dad made for Cooper and used the screws, which are about this long, and just drove them in the side of the caravan to hold it. No, nobody ever buy that off me.
No.
That caravan's scrap.
It's not going to work now,
I am going to repair it properly. It's just not the best.
It got you out of the...
Got me out of the shit.
Yeah.
And then anyway, then Thursday, so rode Monday there.
Yeah.
Thursday we were at VIP for the Blue Crew ride day.
Yeah, I clocked that.
With Jeff, and Jorgensen was there as well.
Yeah.
Quite cool. He was doing some tips and stuff for the kids on the main track. He seems he knows what he's on about. He does. And Mavericks ran the PW thing there. So Coop just got to basically mess about on a P wheel day, which he loved. He rode a Yamaha 65, which he loved. And then we did a little bit on the auto, and then we got in the van from there, drove to East Sussex.
Yeah.
Mel Pocock's place.
Oh, yes.
It's just
lovely place. Isn't it? I mean, I've never been, but I've seen the clips and the track, and it's just dreamy, and it's nice.
Good. And we got really lucky because it kind of rained a little bit. It was like drizzly, and the dirt there wants to be a bit wet,
Yeah.
So we rode all day there Friday. Coop, man, dude, there's this massive triple, which I wouldn't think about even doing now. No way. I mean, like, I'd have thought about it even when I was riding a lot. Anyway, Coop comes over this table. It's second session, so he's kind of done his sighting one. Knows where he's going. There's no excuse for this. And all I hear is, what? Like, over the tabletop, lands, and like, this bit, you kind of have to go, what? And then off, roll double, and then single.
Yeah.
But you just heard, wow! And I'm like, oh my God. Me and Nick were standing there like, he's
ready
dead.
To catch
he's
him.
Dead. Like, what the hell? He landed on the top of this thing, like, boom! And he's blown all his feet off. So he's on the floor screaming.
No way.
I'm like, oh my God, mate. Like, what have you done?
Full on grenaded
I formed at my ankle. Oh. So I'm taking his boots off. I'm thinking this was second session. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. We've come all the way, we've driven 6 hours, and it's just, this is over. Like, we ain't gonna be riding. Took his boot off. Nothing look bad. And I was like, do you want to keep riding? And he was there like, yeah, I'm having so much fun. And I was there like, all right, what happened then? Because I was thinking, is his throttle stuck on or something? What were you doing, mate? Like, I was trying to do it.
Oh, right. I was going to ask you, did he forget where he was on the track?
No, fully was trying to do it.
He thought, like, computer game
He
style.
just had loads of... I could see he was peppy.
Yeah.
At the start of the day, he's like, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
And, that was dumb. I mean, I think if you got Cohen there or someone like that, they might do it.
Yeah.
But it's big.
It was borderline possible.
But I think so. If you could carry a bit more speed through the tabletop before and stuff, maybe. But I mean, it was dumb.
You know what I sometimes think? I try and think what is going off in a 5-year-old's mind.
Yeah.
Because we've got good memories, I'm sure we remember when we were 7, 8, just little clips.
Yeah.
But I just remember racing a Coventry Junior Motocross Club, and it was just songs in my head. Nothing else. Nothing else. Just enough to concentrate, obviously see where I was going.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a jump here and stuff, but it was just songs. That was it.
I think that as well, because like conscious thought and how we like trying to teach them stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes how much are they actually listening sometimes, or does it need to be so much repetition that it kind of comes second nature?
I think as a coach, I'm kind of thinking about that a little bit actually because that's why I really approach a youth completely different to an adult, like we said before, because I think you really need that. You need to keep it simple, important stuff, but dead simple.
Yeah,
because if it's too much information, there's no way.
No,
there's no way. It's going in.
On the Saturday we did coaching with Mel.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing. So like the main thing you focused on was penguin feet. We don't want to see penguin feet. You know, like he was using Coop as a bit of an example because Coop's footwork's quite good.
Yeah.
It's like, no, get rid of the penguin feet. And the kid can understand that.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of have to
like fun,
you have
relatable.
to kind of idiot proof what you're saying, don't
yeah.
you? You know, to get through to the kids. Like, and he does that well, and you do it well as well. Like,
yeah,
they're different. And I'll notice though, like we'll work on a corner, for example, and he showed him, you know, like put your hand on your seat. That's where you want to be going through the corner. Not too far.
You just a little space.
A little space.
Same for my starts.
They'll do it 3 or 4 times, right, and then they'll just start doing it back to, and you're like, but that's just kids. That's just kids. So anyway, we did that, and then Sunday fun day, where they have a barbecue in the morning. Like the Dirt Store guys come over, you know, and all that, and obviously Dirt Store are a big sponsor of Cooper's, like probably his main sponsor, and then Cooper goes and wipes out Dan's kid.
On the PW?
On the PW, yeah. Just goes and knifed him up, mate. Like, I was like, oh, mate, why? But it was all good. We had a barbecue, some bacon and eggs and sausages and that. And you know what? It's just fun down there.
Yeah.
It's like pastrana land for kids.
So we've touched on this before, but it's like everything's a balance, isn't it? Even for myself, especially kids. It's a balance, isn't it? Yeah. If it's all so serious, it just leads to burnout. That's a topic that we're going to talk about, isn't it? We're going to get onto that. But so you've been flat out
but I've never seen the kid so excited to ride his bike.
Yeah.
You know, because
even though you're doing a lot.
Because we've been doing a lot of fun stuff. Obviously the racing at Monster Mountain, a bit more serious, but I try and take stuff way more chilled now. I've really reined that in. And I've just seen the spot after Mel's, and like, you know, the Yamaha day at VIP, there's like, he's got almost like a twinkle back in his eye, like he can't wait. Like I picked him up from school today and was like, he was like, what are we doing tomorrow, Dad? I was like, well, you going coaching with Josh at Fat Cats? And he went, yes. I've never had that before. Normally it'd be, oh right, okay. Yeah. You know, he's just gagging. He just wants to ride.
So good thing to focus on there, just to go off on that a little bit. Every rider's different. We've always said this, haven't we? Some like you say, can ride super often. Yeah. Maybe, you know, like a bit of a kick up the arse. They're all right with that. I've had loads of people that, you know, potentially lose a bit of confidence, and that's up to the parents to see. Yeah. Because then you can do something about it. It's like Ryan Hughes put a clip up the other day, and I always like watching his things. I think, you know, he's
smart guy.
Smart, yeah. He just says it as he is. He doesn't mind to upset people if he believes it.
Mad as a box of frogs, but in the best way possible.
In the best way.
I enjoy it.
So what he was basically saying is, it's a balance of the two. You can't always go to races where you're always winning, because you need to learn to lose. Yeah. But if you're always going to race, and lose is a horrible word, but if you're always going to really tough situations and you're getting beaten up constantly, that can work against you. Yeah. You've got to come out and, like you say, make it fun, maybe use an easy race where you have got a good chance of running up near the front. Yeah. Because if it's all one side and this balance is off, I think it's a negative.
You can get hammered, can't you? I mean, I think it's hard with, especially a kid Coop's age, that young, because obviously when we're going to do the 2-stroke stuff, it's a bit more intense. When we go race at Mavericks and he isn't old enough to do it like yet, we're doing the E5 class, which unfortunately we have had terrible results this year because of bad luck, bike breaking, things like that. But he has had the speed to, if not win, be at least in the top 3 in every round, and that gives him a lot of confidence. Yeah, and that touches on that. Like, it's nice to just do a bit of both in it, because the kid's got to believe in himself at the end of the day. Because if you as a parent keep going, oh, you can win, and they come in 15th, there's a point where they go, well, I can't. Yeah. And then when they've lost that, it's not, you know, they're never gonna.
Yeah, it's just being realistic, isn't it, with your approach? And I like the fact that Cooper's buzzing, and you know, we can relate as riders. You know, I can relate. I have to keep it fun these days.
You get addicted to it.
Yeah, it gets addictive. For me, I like to ride different bikes now. So, since I, let's say, retired from being super serious, I went 2-stroke, because I hadn't rode 2-stroke for a long time. I did 2 years of 2-stroke, and then I thought, I want to get back on a 450 because they're so different to ride. Yeah. And now I've recently built a 125. You know.
You've ridden it, haven't you?
Yeah, I've run it.
Enjoy it.
Ridden it. Yeah,
I saw the video of you at is it Wild
Tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that bike a little bit more because it will touch on a subject. We've had a few questions, haven't we? So we'll talk into them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like this idea of, as a parent, really monitoring the situation, not just ignoring it.
Mm-hmm.
If the confidence is dipping each week, maybe it's the time to stand back. What have we done for the past few months? Has it been training? Worked? Has he been, pushed to his limit? Is he a bit burnt out?
Yeah. Sometimes maybe find something else fun for them to do as well, like if they enjoy football or tennis or anything like that. We're going to do some tennis stuff with Q because that's what he said he wants to have a go at.
Brilliant.
I think just not always on the bike. Mm-hmm. Do some other bits, save some money as well. Like they're still getting that exercise, still getting that hand-eye coordination and fast twitch stuff going.
Yeah. Let's segue into one of the questions that we was talking about. Basically, around the fact of just burnout, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
The UK scene, what we've seen in the past with people I grew up racing.
Yeah. Well, it was.
Go on.
Jamie Jackson sent the message in, and he was one of the guys that you were racing as well.
Yeah,
probably.
Jamie, very talented lad, isn't he? Hops on a bike
even now.
Yeah, hops on a bike now. Very fluid on the bike, makes it look easy. I like Jamie, he's a good lad. So go on, what was the question that you posted him?
So basically you were saying why, as a country, why do we have so much kind of cream at a junior level? Mm-hmm. We seem to have some really good riders coming through. I'll exclude autos because there's loads of good kids on autos or whatever. But like 65s, when we start going EMX stuff, 65s, going to the Worlds and things like that, 85s, even 125s, we seem to have really strong riders.
Yeah.
And then they just don't seem to break through that mold and get to the top. And I've been thinking about this since we've been sat here, and a few recently have. Obviously, you've had Billy Askew, who's kind of ripped through a little bit, albeit I don't think he's shown his full potential on the Grand Prix EMX side of things yet. Hopefully, he can figure that out. And which was the other kid on the 125, the Yamaha as well?
Jamie Keefe.
Jamie Keefe, he's doing okay as well. Good. But they're now at that stage where I think Jamie was kind of referring to. How do they then go and throw their leg over to the next hurdle? And I think that's probably the hardest thing to do. And maybe it's just law of averages. Maybe we just don't have enough riders. Not a big enough pool.
It's a big subject, isn't it? And there's probably no direct answer. For me, we both have a bit of knowledge about America, certain things that happen there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, let's use, the most popular brand of small bikes, KTM, as an example.
Yeah.
Austria, we don't need to get in the ins and outs of the struggles at the moment. That's pretty apparent. Everyone will know that. But they're allocating budgets, aren't they, to countries?
Yeah.
And I just don't know how our country stacks up against others.
Yeah, you mean with like a marketing budget?
Yeah, spend on bringing the youth up.
Yeah.
Supporting the riders, giving them bikes, giving them knowledge at a young age. And I don't know the full ins and outs of that.
No.
But I don't see it.
No, I don't see it. And I think over the past few years, it is kind of faded away. I think the problem is when you're a brand and arguably you've probably got the best product and kids are going to be wanting to use that product over other products, why do we need to bother
I understand.
putting money in on that side of things? When they were a new brand coming in, kind of 04 onwards, like not new brand, but
when they actually became
starting to
good.
grow, to grow.
Yeah.
Then obviously there was a lot of that, wasn't there? Because you had help, as a kid through KTM UK.
A little bit, yeah. In all fairness, it was mainly through dealerships. That's how it all works.
But that
Redline Motorcycles.
Is that not how it is distributed anyway over here? Not sure. Yeah. I think in America they have the Orange Brigade, don't they? But I think even that's been tamed right off a little. I think so. Yeah, it's tough. But like Yamaha now, if I'm someone with a talented kid now coming off an auto onto a 65, obviously it's going to be a few years for me. And I don't know whether he's talented yet. We'll see. We'll see. I would probably steer towards Yamaha.
Yeah,
And that's what's going to happen, I think, more so because you've got that Blue Crew kind of backing. You've got the right people from the top looking at you because they're tracking your race results, they're tracking, like everything. You can it seems like a bit of a club. I mean, admittedly, only probably one of them out of a class group of 300 will make it onto a factory bike.
Yeah.
But
it's nice to see.
It's a chance, isn't it?
At least something, isn't it? Someone trying.
Yeah.
So like we said with the Blue Crew.
And they do nice stuff as well. Yeah.
VIP.
All paid for.
Yeah. No, that's something. That's what I believe is in, let's say, America. Bigger pool, bigger budgets. That's where all the bikes are sold.
Yeah.
California.
And I think KTM North America is different to KTM Europe.
Yeah.
Like it's its own.
But
they're not struggling.
It's nice to see, like, say, pair it with the Yamaha stuff. When you know the ins and outs, it's like there's an argument of why is no one tackling the auto scene. So you got Cobra in America.
Yeah.
Cooper's rode a Cobra.
Yeah.
In short, hard to ride. Fast, but very hard to ride.
Yeah, yeah.
We found that when Cooper tried it at a very young age.
But he was probably too young.
Yeah.
If you got him on now, he'd probably enjoy it.
But it's fascinating that no other manufacturers thought that is a big pull. You probably know a bit more, but KTM, yes, they're good, but clutches, they're just weak.
They are weak.
Anything,
they are weak.
It's a problem.
I've got a theory on it. Now, a new Cobra, if you was to buy one in Europe, is around $6,000, I think. Might be a bit less, maybe 5.5. Let's say $5.5 grand. A new KTM is obviously like 4.2. I think they are for an auto. If you went into Jordan just to buy one, 4.2. Now, from conversations I've had with Matt Walker, KTM don't make any money on an auto.
Okay.
All that bike is for is to get people into the brand. Because if you put a 252 stroke and an auto next to each other, the raw manufacturing costs, there's probably not a lot in it.
It makes sense.
There's not a lot in it, but you can sell that one for 10 grand or not, whatever they are.
Yeah.
That for 4. So it's more of a loss leader. Now, other company and a Cobra, where that's priced, they're probably making a drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously Cobras couldn't be as cheap as a KTM because they just wouldn't work with the bit.
Is it more hand built?
It's more hand built, and also they have to make money. They're making. They're only selling 50s and 65s.
Yeah.
So the price point of a Cobra is probably where a KTM should be.
Yeah.
To make it make sense.
Yeah.
But KTM are using it more of a let's get the kids into the brand.
Yeah.
And then they want to just be on a KTM. And I think when you go 65 as well, if you went straight KTM.
Yeah.
And then you were to be like, oh, we're going to do the Blue Crew thing, swap a year later and go on a Yam. You'd be like, what the fuck is this dog?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The weight, the technology.
You're better off just going straight. Because you just never trying it.
So that's kind of something
forbidden fruit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like the M65 is a bit off. You can make it. It's a bit heavier. It's harder to ride, possibly with the rev ranges.
Yeah.
It's not got the torque of maybe the KTM. It's more reliable.
That's more reliable. They're so reliable.
But I think the biggest divide is more on the 85. So if you make the 65 work and you're in the deal, let's say, and you go to the 85, Nixon Coppins' example, he's doing well, and I just think he's a great rider. But I hear in the background the kind of budget and ins and outs of keeping that bike running.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know the guys at
unbelievable.
VRD do a package for the Yam, which makes it competitive with the KTM.
Yeah.
But then you are probably losing reliability.
Massively.
No,
it's not
you are.
100%.
You are.
Yeah.
You kind of probably have to work out what support you're getting on the back end.
Mm-hmm. You need to cover it, yeah.
You got to cover it. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the KTM 85, I think, is a very good package. The Yamaha is probably a little bit, it is a little bit outdated. Even though they have updated it, it's still not quite up to. But then they make up for it kind of with the back office.
Yeah.
You've got all these Blue Crew days. I know Jeff Perrett and all that. They're on about doing some, like the odd training school, like throughout the year for just the Yamaha riders.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's
It's so good to have that.
They've sat down, pretty much probably tackling what the subject is. How can we do more? And you can't knock that.
No,
That's fantastic. But like I've just seen it as, like, let's say Cowie, right? So in America, Cowie is super competitive because of pro circuit.
Yeah.
They do the 112 bores. They make it work.
Yeah.
Whenever someone's kind of been offered a deal, let's go Cowie 85, it's just not gone well.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a backward step. It's almost
because, like I was saying, you haven't got that back office support, have you?
No, it's different.
You can't just,
But
get
I think these are factors to what, Jamie's been saying there. Why I think people are led into a direction, say like the Kawasaki. I'm not, they're great big bike. There's nothing wrong with Kawasaki, but led into a direction and it's like, right, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Been promised this. You probably get what you promised, but you can't pull a start out your arse.
Yeah.
You just not.
It's going to be
your
tough.
Confidence is gone. And you're trying your best. People that you used to beat the year before beating you now. Like, I think it really, really has backfired.
And I think here, people have very short memories. So, like, say if you are that kid and you may be struggling to get results.
Yeah.
Now, if you're and the next year you stuffed, you won't get anything. Now in America, if you're the kid that's signed for Kawasaki and you're on a 65 or an 85, you're not expected to win because they know the product probably isn't good enough to win.
More understanding.
Yeah, a lot more understanding. But that ride is more to get you into the brand and then step you up to a 250, when you're doing like, pro sport or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like the schoolboy classes. So, and I think there's that understanding, like if you're the manager of Orange Brigade and you're seeing this kid on a Super Mini KX 112 pro circuit bike and he's in third, they're going, oh, he's pushing that. If we had him on one of our bikes, he'd be winning. Now over here, you haven't got that.
No,
they're not. They're just going. He's crap.
Yeah,
he's not got it anymore. He's lost it.
They've almost. It's a different world.
Very different.
They've got the scouting, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're
always.
looking. They're looking.
Because
Who's
there's
the
money.
next? Who's the next?
There's money. It's a business out there. It's a professional sports. Like when you look at like Feld brings in. I mean, I know they've got monster trucks and all sorts of stuff going on, but Supercross brings in big money, like huge money. It is a business.
Yeah.
Albeit there's only 30 guys on that, 20 guys on the line in a night show at a Supercross. It's crazy to think that. Like when you look at football, there's how many football games going off around the world with teams and all sorts. Like there's two guys on a team.
Yeah.
It's very, to get to there, if that's the dream, it can't even be. I don't even think it can be a focus or be a dream. It can be a dream, I guess. It can't be a focus. Like for me, it's probably never going to happen. I'll do everything I can to like give my kid the tools to try and do it.
Yeah.
But God, it's so unlikely. And you can't rely on that.
It can't be your sole reason for doing what you're doing.
Definitely not.
So there's many factors there. What else do you think is a possible reason? Let's say some examples of riders. We don't need to name them, but the riders that I grew up with, and why they probably got to a certain age and decided to go the other direction, partying, drinking, this, that, and the other. Is that burnout? Is that literally when your brain develops, you start doing the maths? Like I'm getting my ass kicked sometimes. My dad's in my ear. But my mates are, doing this.
They're having fun,
and I try that, and then I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
Is it that?
It's got to be a little bit of that, and it's got to be a little bit of like financial burnout.
From the family as well.
But like if you've got a decent job, mum and dad are working, you can probably finance autos, 65s, 85s, and you start thinking, this is, you know what I mean? And then you'll notice a lot of the kids start disappearing.
Yeah.
At that age, even at 85s and stuff. And then it's like the next step to a 250. Like when you go to to get through a season, you probably need two bikes if you've got a good rider.
Yeah.
285s, you're looking at 12 grand. It's a lot of money, but you might be able to finance your way through that or whatever. It's a lot of money, but it's doable. When it's 12 grand a bike,
it's different grade.
It's different. You're up to 24 grand, and then you got to. you're gonna send it somewhere like VRD or whatever, and have an ECU and a pipe, and you're into another $2,000 on the motor, and then it's like, oh, you can't run this on pump fuel now. You got to use race fuel. Fuck it.
But that to me is like, that's too far. This has led perfectly to a message I got from someone that I know called Craig Parks.
Yeah.
Nice, really nice lad. Actually, very, very nice lad. Very chatty. And he basically said, he was after like my take on how can you be more efficient with budgets. Like, for example, he said, he was quite honest. He said, look, I had £800 a month to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he had. So he obviously had to buy. That's how he worked it out with his income. 700 to 800 quid, he said. I had to make it work. So he rode 1 day a week. Sometimes he'd take an afternoon off on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But, he, at a national level, he had some top tens. A good lad. But it's like you said then, it's very, very easy, like we said, to get carried away. So when you get onto the tuning points of like have to run this fuel and run.
Well, everyone's chasing, aren't they?
Yeah. But everyone's got different budgets. So
yeah.
I thought about this because I've done it with bikes in the past when I went 2-stroke. It's like I bought a second-hand bike, but a low hours. So that's a move straight away. Unless you can claim that back and, you do it that way through the business and, that's different. But it's like, how many steps can you make if you're on a budget? Sometimes I think you have to spend more than you'd like to because in the long run it's going to save.
Yeah.
So this is what I've been thinking about based on his question. It's like, if it's a budget second-hand stuff, but clean second-hand stuff, we all know like cars, they take the hit.
Yeah.
So get yourself a tidy second-hand bike.
Yeah.
Perhaps one that you know of, or you know what it's done, or you can trust the person that it's been looked after.
It's easier to do this stuff with adult bikes as well because they're way less worn out.
Yeah, 100%. So so Craig, like say he was running a 252-stroke, but then it's like the bolt-on bits. It's like we said on the previous chats. It's like only spend on something that's going to make it better. Don't get carried away from bling. He's doing this. He's told me to do this. It's like, just take your time.
Yeah.
Like I bought a second-hand exhaust, but it had been used 2 times. Do you know what I mean? It was brand new.
Yeah.
So they're not always doable, but I think you can be with a bit more thought and planning. I think it's amazing how much money you can actually save if you're on a budget.
You can save. I mean, there's some things you can't skimp on, like a helmet or something like that.
Safety.
But when you're looking after the bike, you can save money.
Yeah.
You need like new plastics, and does it need to look cool? Like my practice bike, Coupe. God, she's a
nail
raw dogging. But the bike's good. I make sure the bearings are greased. I look after what needs to be looked after. The motor's really good in it. It gets rebuilt. The kids' bikes need a lot, but fortunately it's cheap. Like a top end kit's 50 quid. They're not expensive. But like when you start going up, all this starts increasing, and like people probably do overspend and just get fed up with it, and it's really tough. But there is money to be saved. It just needs to be done in the right way. Do you? I always think like I had a guy come up to me. I won't mention his name, but he was like, "Oh, do you know what, Swanee? I'm just going to get a Tim Dane engine done for him." And I was like, "Mate, just trust me when I'm telling you this, like, because I know the kid he's fast. He's a good rider. He's not national fast."
Yeah.
I was like, "Mate, that's going to cost you $3,000. I want to see you in this sport in 5 years' time, and I don't want you to just dip."
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you this as a mate, right? Don't do that. If you're going to spend $3,000 on an engine, you've got $3,000 to spend on some coaching.
Yeah.
A load of tyres, a load of top ends, and perhaps a new bike in 40 hours when that one's had enough.
Yeah.
Because 40 hours are kind of starting to be a bit dead, the autos, with a good rider on. And he was like, "You've got a point." And I did put him off it because I was like, Tim, if you're listening to this, it's no offense to you. I think you do a great job, and some of your work you do is amazing. But but you want this guy in 5 years' time.
That's how it works.
Like I was just trying to.
You could see someone starting to burn.
I could see it. And I just had to give him a little bit of, don't do that. Look how many times, when you're on that line, if throughout a season, if you could be on that gate, every time you're on that gate, you've got a fresh set of tyres on.
Yeah.
That's going to be way more beneficial than an engine.
Yeah.
You know, and you've just blown all your holiday money. You can't go on holiday this year. You're going to be, at the end of the year, you're going to be down in the dumps. You know, I just think, you know, but it's, and then it's keeping up with that as well. Like, once you give your kid that, he ain't going to want anything else.
No.
Like, just wait.
I fully agree.
When you go for the British Championship on an auto, give Tim a call.
Yeah.
You know, fair enough.
It's an example of just jumping in with 2 feet, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just because it's potentially seen as cool to have that, isn't it? A friend's got that, sounds cool.
You know, they pop
pops
in
and bangs, like, I want a bit of that. Give me a piece
you hear
of
all
that.
the kids on 65, don't you? Just in the
Yeah,
holding pedal.
The checkbook's there, just let me know how much I want, just for that noise. But no, it's so interesting. So Craig, like, I just think if I'm doing this on a budget, I'm just being sensible. I'm not rushing into things like you've just said there. Actually thinking about reliability more than anything.
Yeah.
So spend money on good oil.
Good oil.
Good 2-stroke oil.
100%.
So this come out from Stark recently, and it's believable. It took me to listen to it to actually think, oh yeah, I see the point. But if you buy a brand new 2-stroke, if you buy a brand new 4-stroke, and then you buy a Stark, all in the same category, let's say 450s, and a 252 stroke, by the end of a season, I think they based it on 50, 60 hours of riding, 40 hours maybe, something like that. The 2-stroke is the most expensive, which some people are like, hold on a minute, 2-stroke's cheap racing. If you go by the manual, piston changes, all the 2-stroke you're putting into it, you know, the wearable parts.
A lot more oil changes as well.
Yeah, gearbox, all that sort of stuff. It actually works out quite a bit more expensive than a 4-stroke. You're obviously relying on the fact that they don't ship themselves, because that's a different story. But then, of course, the argument for Start was, with the electric, yes, it's a premium price, but there's no wearable parts.
They're far cheaper.
Yeah, it's a different sport, though. I'm not saying get electric, but it's like some people will rush the 2-strokes.
Yeah, I think for the kids, I mean, the E5, man, they have their flaws. Don't get me wrong. Like, you got to be careful with the jet wash, Lance.
Oh yeah,
don't want to get water in place. I wrecked a motor.
Just through cleaning it. Hard. Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, this bike, Hunter Cruz had this bike.
Yeah. And
rid the arse off it. Where he goes off with his dad on skits missions everywhere and stuff. Then we had it, like we rode it to death, you know, and while Coop was learning, you know, when he was a kid and stuff. And then the motor went, and it turned out I just washed it, you know, water got in there, and a new motor was £1,200, I think. But the bike has probably done 350 hours. That ain't bad.
No. That's a lot of saving on pistons, basically.
Oh my God, yeah.
Clutches,
if you worked it out, 300 hours on an auto, God, how many top ends is that? Like,
well, it just wouldn't do 300.
No,
you'd be replacing your brakes, your master cylinders will wear out.
Everything.
Yeah, literally everything. Although the brakes are obviously similar.
No, but it's all. No, but you get like the engine slows you down, and nothing's as.
Yeah.
And the bike still, everything's mint.
Yeah.
Like,
is that the one that's letting you down at the minute?
Yeah, that one. No, but we've figured it out. There's a couple.
Connection.
Yeah. It's got an Easter egg on it now. That connection ain't ever coming out.
But it's no. It's that in itself is interesting, because I've always, like, people have always thought, yes, 2-stroke for me is funner. It's more mechanical way of riding, let's say, with, you know, more gear changes, got to be on it, this, that, and the other. I think it teaches you a lot. That's why I enjoy the 2-strokes.
Yeah.
4-strokes, everyone says it can make you lazy as a young rider, definitely can. And then electric bike, it's like no clutch, no gears. It's a different sport.
Do you think it's important to do that 1 year of 125 racing from schoolboy?
Yeah.
You know, like, say if you had like 2 deals on the table, you were on an 85 big wheel. This deal was with Kawasaki. You were going to go straight to Bud Racing.
Yeah, 250F.
250F, Bud Racing, go and do EMX. Or this one on the table, and it's from Yamaha, and you've got to do the 125 thing first, with a potential lead on to EMX 250.
Yeah.
If, you know, performance based.
Yeah.
Which way are you going?
Without a doubt, the 125 direction. Because that was a mistake of mine.
Do you think you would have an extra leg up when you got onto the 250?
Yeah, 100%. For me, it's like, unless it's different, it's about build, isn't it? Height, strength, maturity, more than anything. And I don't think there's many 14-year-olds that are ready for that 250.
Yeah.
Especially holding onto a Bud Racing 250.
Yeah, like a 50 horsepower.
Yeah, like Jet did it because he's like a phenom. But and it took him a bit of building up. But let's
I remember
say for
seeing
the
how
majority,
small he was on that bike.
Yeah, very, very small.
He was tight because he's such a big dude now.
Technically sound to the point that he didn't have any injuries that year.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Brian Maru. But he did the 125 route. But even by then, the second year getting on the 250F, he was off all the time.
Yeah.
So the reason I've gone heavily into the 125 option there is because I had a 125. That's why I've got this 125 now. I had a 125 when I went from a big wheel, but only for like a bit of the winter. And then it was a rush decision. No, we need to go 250F. But that was when 250Fs weren't electric start.
No.
I couldn't start the thing. Barely pick it up.
That is mad, isn't it?
Barely start the thing.
What was that rush? What was that rush about though? Was that your dad just thinking that was the best thing to do?
Yeah, I think my style was smooth, and he put that with 4 strokes, and that should suit you more.
Which
I get it, but it is a regret. I wouldn't change anything. I don't believe in that. But
yeah,
in that situation, probably would have stayed 125.
Because you could have done another year like BYMX 125 stuff. Was it that the depth at that point?
Yeah, there was a lot of differences. It was depth and all the rest of it. But I just feel like like I say, the difference from a 4-stroke to a 2-stroke, you're fully racing a 125.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of gear changes.
And
when
it's
I went
so
out
much
at
fun.
Wild Tracks, yeah,
so much fun.
When I went out at Wild Tracks the other day, it was like on my 450, I'm using 3rd and 4th. That's it. Occasionally 2nd, and it's like on some tracks you're only changing gear like twice.
Yeah.
125, I was up 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, back down to it was wild.
When I was coming up, I only started on a big wheel 85, so I was really, really shit. You know what I mean? I wasn't competitive, and then obviously because I started at like 14, 15, I was quickly on a 125. I think I started at 13 maybe. I was quickly on a 125 after the KTM I had off you at 85, and I probably wasn't even ready for that. Like physically. It was big, like it was too much. And then I went onto a 250F as well, which I couldn't start. I remember that distinctly. I just could not start it, and I didn't really touch a 125 ever since. Now, before I reined my riding, I mean I don't ride anymore, but my last year of riding, which was I don't know if it was last year or the year before, I can't remember. I had a 125 Yam, full GYTR one, and that was honestly the funnest bike I've ever owned. If I could have I wish I'd never sold it. I sold it to get that Cobra because I'm an idiot. But it was I had to do it. But I loved that. It was so much fun, and I can understand why you get a lot from it because I after like developing a lot of skills on a bike. I mean, admittedly, I'm not the best, but I feel like technically I'm okay on a bike. I can move around. I can do a little bit. And to get that and go on a 125 where it's really light, really agile. Like, I mean, I was, I'm probably the same as I am now, 15 stone or whatever. Still fine. Plenty fast enough for me. And it was...
Do you have to use fast gear?
Depend on the track. If it was tacky, yeah.
Bit of clutch.
But yeah, get a bit of that. But if it was like hard pack, I could get away with 2nd and just feather.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hear some stories of like the way they gear these factory bikes in Supercross. They're using first gear a lot. It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. That is mad. First gear on a 450. Imagine that shit. Fuck it. And you hear Tomac just like death revving everywhere.
But they've got different gearboxes and ratios.
They've got different fucking brains, mate.
Yeah, they're just different, aren't they?
They've got different gearboxes to me.
Yeah.
Like the actual person.
In their head. So Craig also said he had a second part because he had a bad injury. He had a bad back injury, and since then he's done a bit more. I think he's recovered, but he's gone into rock climbing and downhilling, which is equally as dangerous. Because I did a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
Downhilling's crazy. Mountain biking. So he basically said, and he wanted to direct it a bit to me, but I'm going to put it to you as well. With speed, obviously, like, I was racing EMX level and stuff. Craig said, did it ever get to a point where going the speed is scary? Now, the answer is no, because you're building that up to that speed over a very long period of time. There is occasional days I go to like Fat Cats where it's just big outside banks, you know, on a private hire.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if this goes over the top, like it's curtains, isn't it? So these things creep into my mind, because the secondary part of his question was, do you ever worry about injuries? So it's quite a like, you know, I'm pretty sure most people sometimes think about what could happen. Where was you at? What was your reason? You know, one was finance, but was you getting worried with injuries, family?
Even though, like, I mean, obviously I've got my own insurance company and stuff like that, and, you know, I was well covered, I still... do you know what, Josh? I just didn't want to be hurt again. Yeah. I've been hurt too much. Knees... I hurt every day just getting out of bed and going downstairs. My back... If I sleep longer than 7.5 hours, my back locks up.
Seizes.
Yeah. Shoulder, I've got all metal in there. You know, I just didn't want to be hurt again. I was just kind of like, I'm not getting enough out of this.
You do the maths.
To warrant it. Like, I was getting more enjoyment out of watching Coop. I remember I was at the two-stroke festival. Coop's race was going on. He was only on a bloody Ossett MX-10 or something. And I'm racing. I'm mid-race, and he's going to the line because it's kind of sawing through, you know, the tree bit on the kids' track. Yeah. And I was like, I'm pulling off. I want to fucking... I need to go and... I need to go and sort that out. I have to, you know, I didn't want to just be with his mum and that. Like, I mean, I know she's capable, like, but I just was I just pulled off a race, and I knew it was...
Yeah, if you start wandering,
it was getting dangerous. So I'm thinking of that.
Your mind's not there, is it? So that's interesting. For me, the more I've got into coaching, the riding's still serious. I'm actually leading the Bridgestone Pro Rate Series.
It's cool, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Veteran doing that.
Yeah. But, you know, so it's serious, but it's not. But I do, you know... I
don't think yours is like... It's not results driven anymore. Like, I mean, as if it's probably better for you because it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not like, oh, fuck, I've got to get...
And that's how it was.
I've got to get this result because... Like, you know, and Matt was helping you. Like, Matt's relying on it. Like, we've got sponsors that want it, and it's like, fucking hell.
There's definitely pressure off the shoulders. But just going to the point of, am I thinking about hurting myself? I think anyone that gets on a bike, whether they're being honest or not, well, it's in the back of your mind. Because you know the danger. You have to
accept the risk.
It could happen. You see it, you witness it. Things happen around other tracks, social media. You're aware of.
I think when you accept it, and you come to peace with it, you can ride a lot better and a lot more freely. Yeah. Because it's like, you have made that decision, haven't you, that it could happen.
If you're out there trying not to crash, is a problem.
You're probably gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think just touching on what he said there, his question as well, and talking to, you know, really fast guys in the past and stuff. Like, when I've been out in America, I spent quite a bit of time with like Christian Craig and things like that. Just questions that I've kind of asked on the side. I've always been like, what does it feel like to do that? And their explanation's always been like, probably feels exactly the same as what you feel. Yeah. And it probably is. Like, say if you, like, me riding at 100%. Yeah. And then Jet riding at 100%, the feeling is the same. And that's
as in the processing speed of what's going on.
The processing speed of what's going on, the feeling you're getting, the buzz, you know, everything is probably the same. Like, and that is what's so fucking good about motocross.
Unbelievable. I get what you're saying.
I can go out on this track here at 101, smash a few laps in, really enjoy it, and Jet could come out behind me, pass me, go do his thing. And we could both pull off, go and have a coffee in here, and both have experienced the exact same feeling, albeit at different speeds.
I think there's an element of that, and I've thought about this because it's through my coaching novice riders, maybe intermediate standard. I do think there's an element of when you get to a ability like Jet, or if I'm having a nice day at a practice track or something. I feel like I'm on a different track to everyone else. Yeah. When I see the lines they're using, hitting braking bumps into the turn.
And using them as a tool almost.
Yeah, but generally the main line is like jackhammer into the corner, turning on bumps,
yeah,
and then accelerating on bumps.
Yeah,
and
you're just following
with my coach. And then with my coach, and it's like if we're on a higher and it's rough, I'll say like just stub off the edge here. That original line's going from inside to outside, so let's go outside to inside, and it's like that's a different feeling.
Yeah.
So to your point,
probably. Yeah.
To your point, I get exactly what you're saying.
It's more of the emotional.
It's what you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
But this has made me think. It's
the
like,
flow.
I would like to, even though I feel like I ride pretty good, I can double some holes, this, that, and the other. But I'd love to feel what Jet does on a rough sand track.
Yeah.
Where he's just
dancing around.
Yeah, and he's like, potentially 20 seconds ahead of the next man. That must be different.
Did you see the a lot of the comparison videos people were putting out from Hangtown with Jet and Tomac?
I just like the difference in style.
Oh my God.
That's a different feeling. Not mentally, because they're both like...
Mentally both the same. They're both adrenaline, we got to win.
Yeah, like buzzing, enjoying this is unbelievable. But that isn't the same.
They've got to be different states though. Like, like when you watch Tomac and you watch Jet, Tomac obviously rides, I would say, on a lot of emotion and a lot of like adrenaline. Mm-hmm. That's how he rides. That's how you get the best Tomac.
Yeah.
When there's that drive, you know what I mean? He has that kind of... it's hard to explain, put it into words, but it looks like he rides on a lot of emotion. Jet rides on a lot of feeling. Yeah,
pure technique, isn't it?
Technique relies on that, falls back on that, and looks like... And there's never... You do see it now and again when, like, say if Tomac gets close to him, you'll see him get a little bit out of control in certain areas, but he remains composed while he's doing it. Whereas Tomac, mate, he's just fucking wide open. Like, it's very different. And they probably do get certain different feelings back from it. I can imagine Tomac after a weekend just feeling so fucking mentally exhausted. And Jet just getting in his car and fucking driving to Starbucks like nothing happened.
Yeah, no, I think you bang on with that. For me,
I might be completely wrong though, but...
No, I would say so. I think one definitely requires more...
energy.
If you could manage to see how many calories is burnt there to there, I think there would be a big difference because...
Massive.
And it's also... Yeah.
It's more impressive seeing Tomac ride...
Match the pace
with not poor technique.
And fitness.
Is
on another level.
I wouldn't say his technique's poor. It's not. It's more...
He'll overjump things and come up short.
He finds speed by pushing through stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than moving around stuff.
Yeah, Jet's a gear high, lower revs. So in turn, the bike's handling a little bit better. Yeah, there's no right or wrong. One feels effortless. One is, I'm going to push this to the absolute limit.
Both impress me equally.
One uses the clutch a lot, and he modulates the power with the clutch. He said
he does
because if you're so aggressive, you kind of holding the front wheel down sometimes.
He's wide open and he's literally controlling it with the clutch, which is, I know, mate, we've gone completely off topic here. I know, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens when he leaves Yamaha.
Right,
because there's rumours that he's going to KTM, Triumph,
and he doesn't,
or not Aprilia,
Ducati, and are they all on hydraulic clutches?
All on hydraulic.
He doesn't like that, does he?
No, but are they going to? They could potentially make a cable clutch, I guess. But
but a good segue there, because I think that is one awesome thing about the sport is
the feeling.
Yeah, everyone can have a good time.
There's nothing. So, you remember them days, don't you, where it's just all clicking?
Yeah,
and it feels good. No, you know.
And that's the flow state, isn't it? So, one point you made, I wanted to just come back to, was Cooper on the start, rather than you saying you need to go here. We don't know what's going through the minds of these young riders.
No,
we don't know if certain it's anxieties, isn't it? What might happen? Sometimes they'll communicate with you, sometimes they might not want to.
Yeah.
So I think it's having some extra thought
Cooper's a lot like his mum,
Yeah.
like that, and we work as a team. Like Monster Mountain, there was one race where I was so frustrated. I'm like, what the fuck, mate? How can we go from he got a top 10, and the next one it was just like no effort, nothing. And I text Mel, I was like, what the fuck was that? I didn't say anything to him. I never would. Like, until everything's calmed down. I went, what happened there? But anyway, like, I text Mel, and Mel just said, just, go for a walk. I'll grab him off the track, calm yourself down, come back to the van. I did. I just took a bit of a longer route round. I thought, but composed my thoughts. Don't want to shout at a 5-year-old. Even though you feel a bit let down because of how much your effort you're putting in. That's not their choice. That's fucking my choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got back. Well, dude, what was up then? What's the matter? And I just thought, what can be wrong? So I did his tire pressures a little bit and reset his sag. I didn't say anything to him. Next one, fine. Fixed.
Better.
Yeah. Like it might have been a bit of a feeling. He might have felt a little bit uncomfortable. The track dried out a little bit. Didn't quite have the Coop likes it when there's a lot of traction and stuff. And
so I'm wondering how
predictability.
many, and I don't know this, but how many parents are giving space for their kids to communicate and try and get to the bottom of the reason.
Probably not a lot.
And I think that's powerful, because if you don't give that space and you're just on them, it's not creating a good
A 5-year-old at the end of the day is still a human being. And it processes things the same way as you and I do. This is what I think. And to have someone coming at them full ball when you've come off the track, the one way you're going to keep your kid in this sport and keep him enjoying it is by keeping it fun.
100%.
We're all going to lose patience. I've not saying I haven't shouted at Coop. I've lost patience at him before. It's going to happen again. I'm a human. He's a human. Shit happens. But just try your best to just be a little bit understanding. And normally when a kid, not just a 5-year-old, but a kid anyway up to 14, 15, they don't always understand why they're not performing. Sometimes as a parent, it's you to maybe step back. Are they getting enough sleep? How's the habit on the PlayStation? Is that change? Things like that. Just look at other stuff, because if they all of a sudden not, like drop off performance, if they lost a bit of love for it, is the bike right? Have you put a new spring on and it's not been met? It might be too stiff for them. There's so many things, isn't there? Like a kid, they can't tell you always. They're not mature enough to tell you why they're upset. Like Coop couldn't tell me why he was crying on the start. He didn't know. He was just scared.
Yeah. Based on something potentially that's happened before.
Possibly.
But you don't know. I think that's so powerful what you just said there. It really is.
No.
Because, they can't communicate it. They might not know how. It's up to...
I don't think I could communicate properly until I was 25.
Yeah. No, I still can't.
Fucking... yeah. No, but you can't. You do struggle.
Sometimes, yeah.
And it's hard. That comes with maturity, doesn't it?
It is.
Even now, I sometimes don't know how... You'll feel shit and you don't know why.
No. Wow, that's a good one.
But as a parent, you'd want to be trying to identify that, I think.
Take a step back. Take a breath. Like you did. Take a walk.
Yeah.
Then come back to it. It happens to me all the time now with,
and don't talk about it on the drive home either.
No, leave it at the track.
Leave it at the track.
Yeah.
Talk about it over breakfast maybe the next day or whatever. Like, how can we, Matt, how can we make the bike better for you? How can I make you more comfortable?
That I've learned this the hard way. Not the hard way, but, have you ever had it in work or where someone's really just took the piss, and you're just you're looking at the message, you're thinking you are not thinking about anything other than yourself.
Yeah.
So then your brain lights a fire. It does. You know what I'm like sometimes. Yeah. And you just type something out, and you're just like, I'm going to fucking hammer you.
Yeah.
Because you're an ignorant, bastard. But
delete that message.
Delete it. I do it every day.
I've done that so many times.
But so this is basically the same
normally
thing.
Mel going, no, do not send that. Do not send that.
Or in your case, don't post that on Facebook. Surely Mel has to look over your stuff and give it a thumbs up.
Hey, mate, I'm monetized now.
Yeah.
More good. Gotta keep. I've got to be very PC now to.
Via guidelines, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got to be very PC to Facebook's terms and conditions.
So let's direct that to the parents then. Maybe you're running, businesses. Maybe you're not. Doesn't matter. How have you built your business? Good relationships, I would say.
Yeah.
So then, like I've had to do, take a step back, put a bit more thought into it, think of variables before jumping 2 feet in. And I think that is something for everyone.
I think the most important thing for a child, teenager, keep it fun.
Has to be 100%. Keep it going for a period of time. To get back to Jamie Jackson's point, burnout's a thing.
If it's going to happen, it will happen, I think.
Was there anything else? Was there another question? We'll wrap this up pretty soon, but was there anything else coming?
No, we ain't got no gorilla shit today.
Not
have
this
we?
time.
The SMX Pride post. What about that?
Oh,
It's controversial.
mate. So,
NFL did it as well. It didn't go well.
yeah.
It's not going.
Now, I know they talked about this on the Pulp Show. I haven't listened to it yet either. 2 different opinions, I guess. So they put that post out. A lot of the athletes, Cooper Webb being one of them.
Look, this
I
is
like
where I
Coop.
say nothing. I'm leaving this to you, man.
I like Coop. And yeah, speak your mind. I get that. But as a business, trying to attract outside sponsorship from the sport, is it a good look to shimmy that? Probably not. And that's what Steve Mathis was trying to say, where it's like, look, guys, fucking shut the fuck up. If you want money coming in from corporate sponsors,
As in, they shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have posted it.
no, post it.
Right.
But I mean, the athlete's not like
Jumping on it.
jumping on it.
Yeah,
What the
I've
fuck?
seen a
What the
couple of
fuck is
comments.
this? Like,
Yeah.
like shut,
Villo as well, wasn't it?
just
Villo.
shut the fuck up. We have to be tolerable of each other, don't we? We have to be. If someone wants to be gay, be gay.
Yeah.
If
That's what I mean.
if you turn around to
whatever,
me
innit?
tomorrow and said, "Oh, Swanee, I've got something to tell you.
I was
I'm
going to have to
fucking,
tell you after this, but
okay.
you
But
ruined it now.
But if you did, it would not change a damn thing. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, mate, fucking,
but
let's
you-
go
you'd
to
never-
let's
I
go
think
to a
that's
gay
what-
bar. Then,
You'd never
yeah.
bend down near me, though, would you?
I wouldn't. I'd be scared.
So that would change.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, I think, but then I think you get a bit more tolerable as you
I
get.
think
older.
that's what most people want, though. They're like, well, look, we don't care what you are, just shut up about it.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up. It's like
Yeah, get on
vegans,
with
isn't
it,
it?
mate.
Just like, I don't care if you don't want to eat meat. I just shut up.
Live and let live. Just
I'll agree with that. I think it's just in everyone's faces now. And everyone do what you want to do.
Do what you want
Keep
to
it
do.
to yourself.
Yeah,
Smile as you go.
that's it. We'll end it on that.
We'll end it on that, shall we?